Hello, everybody. Larry Young here again with another segment of OLaMan Living Life with Purity. And today I want to tell you a little bit about a Zoom call meeting I sort of interloped on the other day. This is just yesterday. Somebody had sent me a link thinking I would be a sympathetic ear to what they wanted to talk about. And what I was sent a link to, I didn't know exactly what I was going to find when I went to it, but I thought, well, I got a few minutes on my hand. I'll see what's going on here. So I tapped into this Zoom call that was going on, and it was being run by a fellow who declared himself to be a Zen Master up in Minneapolis by the name of Connelly. And this guy was an LGBTQ activist, and he's one of these guys that's doing, he wants to call it spiritual help for protesters trying to eliminate immigration and customs enforcement from all of our country. They want to start in Minneapolis, but they want ICE to be abandoned everywhere. And they think that they have a moral superiority in their argument. And I was watching this guy, and I got to tell you, if they give a master's in crazy, this guy probably has 4 doctorates in it, because this guy was really a nut job. And he is one of the people that's out there organizing these people on the street, these responders, if they want to call them that. They're organized. It's a low-level insurgency that's going on right now. They're using the playbook of Al-Shabaab, of Hezbollah, and Hamas in what they're doing right now. And they're using textbook organizational techniques that these folks from the Mideast have brought with them from Somalia to Minnesota and other places. It's not just here. We saw this with the anti-Semitic protests going on in the college campuses. So much organization going on. It was Nut Job City that they had all of these placards and signs had been made up ahead of the October 8th protest that started after the October 7th massacre by the Hamas terrorists who took out a bunch of 12 to 1,300 Israelis and non-Israelis during their invasion on that fateful day. So the October 8th protests were readied for follow-up to this actual incursion that happened by these Hamas terrorists on October the 7th. The people in the states and around the world were already ready to get out and protest, so they knew this was coming. This wasn't some sort of chaotic event. This was planned. This was an attack that had been planned, and it was orchestrated not just in Gaza, but it had help around the world. And this is the troubling part. We need to get answers to that as to who funded these things and why. We know why, but who? That's what we need to know. And we need to address these things. I don't know exactly how that goes down, but what we're doing right now isn't the real answer. So this Zoom call, this Connelly fella, he was trying to offer spiritual advice to a group of damaged people. And he was intimating and stressing, I guess, not just intimating, but he got more forceful about it as the call went on, that his and their moral code was the only one that was worthy of being followed right now, because this is what they feel was God in that moment. He never would say God. It was always about the intellect. It was about the individual. It was about their guidance and things like this. This was words and tactics used by people who want to be man gods. They want to be their own God, and they have a disconnect with the actual God in heaven, our Maker. But this is okay with them because they feel that they are gods in this moment and they are the only ones that need to be listened to because everyone else is the devil. It was very enlightening. I wish I was able to record it, but they had some sort of block on it that I was not able to record the call, at least on me. So maybe I didn't have the right subscriber code or something. I don't know. But Jesus would have mocked a guy like this, and he would have mocked him very forcefully into his face. Jesus had a tendency to mock like the Pharisees, the scribes, the legal scholars, and anyone in the community who felt that they were morally superior to others around them. And Jesus really came down on this type of behavior and attitudes when he was preaching and teaching during his 3 years. So we know where Jesus would have stood in this moment, and we need to realize that he's still there as we are trying to break this down. So Jesus is still on the side of God and his own infinite wisdom rather than what these LGBTQ folks want to do in going against God's natural plan and God's natural work. They want to make themselves the new God in this moment. It's not going to end well for them. It hasn't historically. It won't happen again. So right now we've got local officials up there in Minnesota, directly the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, Tim Walz and whatever his name, Fry is. They are calling for peaceful protest, even though what one person considered peaceful was to take a loaded 9mm with extra clips to him to protest and then get belligerent with the officers there. Didn't end well. This is just another case of, play certain games, win certain prizes. This is what the carnival barkers used to tell us when you walk into the local carnival when it came to town. The bigger prizes, you had to go and invest more and play certain games to win those prizes. You go to the goldfish thing, you get the rings and the whistles and the other trinkets like that. But if you want the big doll, you got to go play the big games type of thing. Well, this guy played the wrong game and he got his prize. Sorry to hear it happen, but, there was also a young girl down in Frisco, Texas yesterday was killed when a Jeep that she was traveling behind doing snow skitching, as we used to call it, it sort of lost its way. Their sled lost its way on a turn, I guess, that the driver was doing, and threw the sled up into a curb and a tree, and this particular girl was killed in that moment. Played certain games, won certain prizes. The lesson is transcendent. So their local officials up in Minneapolis aren't alone, because as I had in the previous instance about this Zoom call and this gentleman there trying to offer this spiritual advice and offering that they had the moral code to success on this and what would gain them favor in their actions. The same thing is going on now with the LGBTQ movement in Minneapolis through the local archbishop and auxiliary bishop being Hebda and Kenny. Hebda allegedly is a Roman Catholic archbishop, and his actions on this is that he appointed an LGBTQ activist to represent the diocese at the synod that went on. That was all he had available to him, was an LGBTQ activist to represent the diocese in all functions at the synod. And then his auxiliary bishop, Kenny, he's hired an openly gay LGBTQ activist to work for him as a lay music minister. The man is in an open sexual relationship with another man, and he is the one that's being hired to do this in this particular church. Nobody else was available. This was the best opportunity of having a person to serve in that capacity. You had to get an openly gay man who is not in communion with the church to be your lay music minister. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't bode well for the truth about things when it is going to come out. So what we have here is a lot of narcissistic behavior that's going on with these people, with their self-appointed morality clauses and their level of what they want to call dignity in this arena. But their level of dignity means that they have to bring down God and his element and God and his wisdom in what God created naturally. God created man and God created woman. God created man and God created woman. Man did not create woman, as these people would have you determine. So this is narcissistic behavior, putting themselves above and beyond that which we know as God's call to order in things. And they don't care, because all they want is to push you into a desperate corner on these things and try to say that you are the problem. You are the one who needs to change. Don't let them do it to you. Just ignore them. The way to take the steam out of a narcissist argument is to not engage them. Just walk away from them and mock them as Jesus did. Don't give them air. Don't give them a rebuttal. That's what they want. Just deflame them by putting them out of their own misery in that moment. Just let it all go. Extinguish the flames by walking away. Don't yell back at them. Don't answer them. This is just fuel for them. Don't let it happen. I know it's tough to do, but it's the easiest way to end it. We have to get the mockery going. You don't have to call them names. You just mock them. And what we used to do in the South, and a lot of people up north don't understand this one, but when people in the South say, "Oh, bless your heart," they're not blessing you. Thing, you blissful idiot. This is really what the phrase "bless his heart" comes through when people are using it sarcastically. So folks up north need to just start blessing a few hearts here as we go through these stormy times. The woke arguments are ending. They're losing steam. The reality is breaking through the clouds, but it's not breaking through fast enough. The woke people have gotten your young women, but they haven't gotten the young men. And that's why the young men and young women at a pretty high level right now aren't really getting together right now. You got a lot of women are trying to go out on their own. They're trying to say, "I don't need a man. I don't want a man." And what has come as far as a new fashion trend amongst a lot of these women, besides the nose rings, the blue hair, green hair, the other effects that go with their cries for tolerance and acknowledge me, they're beginning to wear a sex toy around their neck as a piece of jewelry. And this is done as a means of signifying to other women out there or other men that your advances to me aren't welcome if you're a man. If you're a woman, let's talk about it. So they're excluding themselves by way of a symbol from a natural order response from men or even other women to let them know that, hey, I'm on my own. I don't need you. I've got my backup. This is really messed up. This is really messed up. And this is going to lead to ultimate problems, I would submit, with suicide and self-ostracization in the society. these people are going to be self-exclusionary. They're going to run themselves out of social circles, back into their caves, where they're going to end up killing themselves. Just watch for it. The means of private suicide and the opportunities for physician-assisted suicide are growing. Right now, there's 12 states in the United States have physician-assisted suicide on the books. More are coming. What is also coming is legalized prostitution. This is going to do even more to isolate our young people from each other. We're going to have a real lack of babies coming in the next 20 years. Not from certain groups of our society. Our more recent imports, they're kicking out babies as fast as they can because they know that's the way they're going to take over this country, is by populating it. So in the meantime, I love you, and I'll be back.